You go. You go. Clap. One more. Just one more.
You said.
I know. I didn't know if the first one was loud enough. Okay.
You only have to clap once, you know.
Well.
Clap. One more time.
I don't like this pillow. Ugh. Oh, I turned it. I must have. No, wrong way. There we go. He's supposed to be in the middle. There. Okay.
All right.
Another episode of this deadly podcast. 2 chicks and a pod.
So original.
Yeah.
So sick. So cool.
So deadly.
Deadliest of the deadly.
Ooh, deadly. Oh, shit. I didn't know where you were going.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. I just kept.
Yeah. So, are you feeling pretty healthy?
Are you getting your 150 minutes of exercise a week?
Are you consuming the right kind of calories?
Or are you binge eating processed food?
And drinking poison?
Or injecting it?
Or injecting I really want to talk about that in depth. We have to code it because I got 2 videos removed from YouTube on my personal shit last week just for even talking, because this is the thing. You're not even allowed to have an opposing opinion to the health experts. So we can just talk about what we would do.
Well, let's just back it up and just like even just like, let's just think about things like, how often do you go to the doctor's office and they just want to treat your symptoms and not the actual cause of it anymore?
Right.
And in reality, a lot of the health issues that people are having nowadays is because they just generally aren't living healthy lifestyles. Our human bodies were made to work. To be physically active, and nowadays we have so much technology that it makes us very sedentary, like in our jobs, and a lot of robots and technology is taking over a lot of the physically demanding jobs. Our bodies thrive when we are physically active. It's like
there's a reason that we feel so good when we're exercising. There's a reason that when we are exerting ourselves, we're getting
your endorphins releasing?
Yeah, your endorphins are releasing. Like, there's a reason that exercising makes us happy.
Yeah, or like even like think about like even like to same but different, but like machinery and stuff, or vehicles that just sit and aren't used, like typically like they don't last long just sitting there not being used. And yeah, when people aren't using their bodies for what they're meant to be, moving them and working, and you gain weight. And then on top of that, we're also eating and consuming so much processed foods, and you know, you might not think that you're eating processed foods, but like, let's face it, like, you know, that double coffee that you have every day, like that's basically just like ingesting fat. And you know, a lot of people spend money going to Tim Hortons, Starbucks, McDonald's for the coffee, but it's like, why are people so addicted to it?
It's very troubling for me to see how addicting those things can be, because we were just talking about the other day how I was so addicted to McDonald's coffee. I was not a coffee drinker, and then this one summer, one of my bosses started buying us iced coffees. And iced coffees, if you've ever had one, are like a sugary, delicious coffee flavored treat. And so that kind of steamrolled from an iced coffee every day in the summer, because it was dollar drink days.
Oh my God. I'm a fucking sorry. Just get sucked into it, you know. Sucked into it because it's cheap. Yeah, we'll suck them in with $1, and then, you know, once it's not $1 anymore, they'll still come back because now they're addicted.
So then I started drinking coffees with 1 milk and 1 sugar. That steamrolled into drinking an Americano with milk and sugar, which an Americano is 2 shots of espresso topped up with water. So I was literally, and the weirdest thing for me was we had an espresso machine at work, but the espresso at work didn't do the same thing for me that the McDonald's stuff did. So I was like, even though I could get access to coffee at home and at work, I still wanted that McDonald's coffee more than anything in the world. And like breaking that habit was probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do. But I feel way healthier now. I wasn't eating because I was drinking so much coffee. Like,
yeah, you weren't eating, you weren't drinking water, and like, I don't know how personally you want to get in this, but like your urine was even
my urine
like
was brown. Oh, we can get into all of it.
Yeah,
like, I don't
care. We're not gonna hold back on anything here. So if you're easily like grossed out, maybe this isn't the place for you.
Like I peed in the bathroom once, and it smelled like coffee in there for probably 15 minutes, just from me peeing. Like, yeah,
like. It's in our bodies. We're putting that into our bodies.
It took other people to be like, are you okay? For me to realize what I was doing to myself, because it just, like I said, it started with one little thing and it just rolled and rolled and rolled into this heavy addiction that was really affecting my health. Like,
yeah, so it's like, it just begs the question, like, what is in it that is so addicting? Like, yeah, okay, like I can understand like the caffeine. People are addicted to caffeine in itself, you know, it gets them started in the mornings. But I also just like recently watched something that like your stomach, like it's not good for your stomach to just wake up and drink a cup of coffee right away. It's actually really hard on your stomach and its functions. But, you know, people get so addicted to like Tim Hortons or Starbucks or like the McDonald's coffee, but yet like why isn't it brewing a cup of coffee at home or a pot of coffee at home? Like what's the difference? Like what is in that product that's different from what you make at home? Like why isn't the home stuff satisfying?
And we don't know the answer to this question.
No, it's just something to think about.
Yeah, there's something making you wait in that godforsaken drive-through every day. You know, like I was like late for work a lot just to get my fix, right? Like at what point do you have to recognize that it's a serious addiction and you need to like look at it?
Yeah, I'm just like super, I guess, grateful that like I was never a real big caffeine person. Like I never really liked coffee. Like my dad always jokes like, do you want some coffee with your creamer? Because when I do drink coffee, like I don't like the taste of it. I find it's really strong and gross, and like a lot of times like it reminds me of cat pee for some reason. Like it just that smell, like it just, there's a certain smell to the coffee that just like it smells weird to me. And I like, let me know if like any of you have like think that. But sometimes like coffee will have like, I'll be like, what's that smell? I'm like, almost smells like cat pee. And I was like, oh, it's coffee. Oh, gross.
That's crazy. I've never. Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know.
I
maybe that's
really want to know if there's someone else that has experienced that, because that's super weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just me and my little sniffer. But yeah, no. And that just like, you know, goes into like why like, you know McDonald's is bad for you. And I will like, man, like I used to just love McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Oh, I know.
But like it's gross. Like they don't go bad. Like what does that tell you? Like I watched this I think it was from 2000 they pulled out this McDonald's and it was like perfectly, like it was rock hard, but like it wasn't moldy. Like why wasn't it moldy?
And I bet if you popped it in the microwave, it would have tasted just like you had gotten it fresh. Like there's something wrong about eating that kind of food, and it's so addicting. Like I know that it's garbage food, but I still want it on a Sunday morning. You know, like it's fucked up. I'm not eating it anymore because of what they've decided to put on their packaging. I'm really, really, really writing off McDonald's for their team up with the White House that's happening right now. So like, yeah,
and then that kind of goes into like the question of like what they're doing, what they're promoting. And it's like, if this is such a great thing, like why do you have to influence it on people?
Yeah, why do you have to
so hard
if it's so imperative?
Yeah, and like why are you paying influencers to promote this product when it's supposed to be for our health? like if it's the healthy thing to do, don't you think people would just be lining up for it? But then that begs the question, it's probably not that healthy.
And with that, 1 second. Yeah, so if the whole world needs something so bad, you'd think that there wouldn't need to be such giant marketing campaigns for these things. Yeah, I wanted to say about the sign. There's a sign when you come out to a place. I don't want to be too specific, I guess, but it says, stick it to COVID. Get the thing, the shot. And I want to say, stick it to COVID. And that might seem insensitive, and it probably is, but at this point in civilization, you need to realize that if you are severely obese, and granted, yes, people have health issues that they can't help, but a lot of it can be helped. And those people need to fucking be responsible for their size, their health. And I don't need to be getting some experiment thing because you're not living the way that you should, I guess.
Yeah, so yeah, like obviously we realize that there are some health issues out there. And then it also comes back to like a lot of these people that struggle with obesity, you know, a lot of it stems from an addiction to food. And then that also, I mean, goes back to like the whole addiction to McDonald's coffee, or Tim Hortons coffee. It's like, why, like what is in this food, these processed foods that is making it so addictive? And so, yeah, like a lot of people, you know, emotionally eat. I know I can be an emotional eater sometimes, you know, if I've had a rough day at work, like, yeah, I just want to kick back and eat some chips and be awful. But I am recognizing these, I'm recognizing my triggers, and I am trying to live a healthier lifestyle. So instead of buying a bag of chips, you know, it might be a bag of vegetables or something. Vegetables and dip. Yeah, coating my vegetables in dip also isn't great, but it's a hell of a lot better than just filling my face with sugar and junk food. So, and then with that goes like, you know, a lot of people are obese. A lot of people do not exercise regularly. And like everybody's bodies are different. Like I have a more like finer bone structure, I guess. So like obviously I'm naturally a little bit more on the lighter, like, I don't know, slimmer side. You naturally have more of a curvy body, and so like granted it's not a one shoe fits all. Like you can't just look at someone and judge them. There's some people that just are heavierly built. But if you are exercising and not just like going for a little walk, like getting your heart rate up for I think it was like it was basically 150 minutes a week, and if you break it down and want to do it in, it was like 20 some minutes a day is basically what it is. Is it really that hard to get your heart rate up for 20 minutes a day? Like, no,
it shouldn't be. Like if you're gassed when you go up a set of stairs, like, hey, maybe go for a walk, maybe. Like,
and I just want to say too that like there's some very thin, skinny, great looking people that are extremely unhealthy, that have, you know, can have high blood pressure and high cholesterol, which is like the silent killer. So don't take it as a, you know, we think that it's fat people's problems, that everybody's getting so sick. It's just unhealthy in general. Like we need to really take accountability for our own health, because I feel like the real pandemic is there's just so many unhealthy people, and that's why so many people are struggling and getting so sick with COVID. But again though, like we're labeling COVID when it's an influenza. Like it's the flu. And every year there's people that end up in the ICU or end up with terrible pneumonia. And granted, yeah, there are some very healthy people that can get really sick too. you know, but like some of these healthy people though, it's like, okay, we know you're healthy, we know you go to the gym and stuff, but like when you got sick, were you smart enough to do the things that you should do when you get sick? Like drink lots of water, drink lots of tea, rest, vitamin C. Or were you I'm a healthy person, so I'm just going to keep working out and put my body under more and more stress? Or sometimes people overwork out too. That's another thing too. And you wear your body down doing that as well if you aren't taking proper rest days and stuff like that. So like, just so you know, like it's not just like, oh, whatever, but like it's, everybody needs to take accountability for their own actions and their own health. And yeah, like even if you are super healthy, if you get sick and don't take care of yourself, it's going to get worse. Yeah.
And when I was like the skinniest, like months ago, I was probably the skinniest I've ever been in my life. I was the unhealthiest I was ever in my life because I was on birth control that was killing me. I was, you know, not eating properly. I was only eating like one meal a day. Like being super, super skinny is also not very good. You have to balance it and like not fad diet. Like don't diet, change your lifestyle one step at a time, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and like these keto diets or the like lemon whatever, all, or like the celery juice diets or these juice cleanses and stuff. Just eat a balanced diet. Like eat a balanced amount of healthy fats, your carbs, your proteins, get enough vegetables, fruit in you, and just try and eliminate as much processed food as you can. And that's,
like, yeah. And like, don't buy a bag of chips, buy some popcorn. Instead of buying a chocolate bar, buy a granola bar. Like small steps, obviously. Like I didn't go from binge eating candy to, you know, being a beautiful vegetable eater. Like, no, like it was small baby steps. But as you change these little things, you start to like crave that good stuff. Like I crave salad now. I crave vegetables and hummus and delicious
and water
things.
instead
and
of pop.
Yeah. So,
and that's not to say that like you can't have those things either. Right. Like I think it's really healthy that like if you are craving a specific thing, then eat it. Eat it
in moderation, unless you're craving that every second, obviously. But like,
but like if you're eating healthily, you're gonna naturally stop craving those things as much. But if you want to treat yourself. Like don't starve yourself. Also, like don't, because then that's when you get into that binge eating mentality and you're just like, well, I'm going to eat it all today. And I'm guilty of doing that. I'm going to eat everything that I want today. And you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to be healthy again. No. Be healthy. You know, have your treats. Like I love Skittles. Like, do I have them all the time? No. I usually save it to have like, you know, on the weekends or something like that. But you know, day to day, like lately I've been having like an ice cream sandwich after supper for a dessert. Is there anything wrong with that? No. In moderation. Am I gonna eat the whole box? No, just one in the evening, and that's fine. And then that just prevents you from doing that binging, because that's really unhealthy too, doing that. And then also like the mental and aspect of it too, because you beat yourself up after eating all that junk food and
guilt yourself. You can't guilt yourself. You gotta just
everything in moderation. Just, you know, get your staples in, your main meals and your vegetables, your grains and your fats and everything. And then like I try and eat it's called intuitive eating, where you try and eat balanced meals, but aren't restricting macros or anything like that and depriving yourself. And I think more people just need to be more aware of what they're putting in their mouths every day. Yeah. Like, and I'm doing a lot better than what I used to. And granted, I was blessed with a fast metabolism. But I did for a while get kind of skinny fat, you know, and
unhealthy and
and you know, everybody kind of has their turning around point, and more and more people need to recognize that and have these hard conversations with themselves. Like, you're being a piece of shit. Don't be a piece of shit.
You'll get there. We believe in you.
Yeah, just be healthy, guys. Like,
and that is the end of this one. We talked right to the end of this one. Yeah. So thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
That was a good